Hey everyone. All right, so I want to ask some questions. So who here has heard of the moon? Okay. Most people, all right. Who here has heard of a DAO? Okay, all right, maybe like 50%. Who here owns or has ever owned a cryptocurrency? That's actually maybe more than the people that said they know what a DAO is. So a DAO it stands for Decentralized Autonomous Organization. So it is an organization that is managed through the blockchain. So it's a set of contracts. So it's mathematically based. You don't have to trust any individual within the organization. It just follows the rules of the code. And we believe that as we scale humanity's ambitions, we'll require larger and larger organizations, and we don't want to put that trust in a smaller and smaller group of people. We want to open up the organizations to as many people as possible so that they can be democratically controlled. And yeah, so with that said, we'll hop into what is MoonDAO. And I'm actually going to start from the past to the present and then into the future. So MoonDAO started with just this one idea of, can we send someone to space through the power of the internet? And what we decided to do, this was during COVID, 2021. I'd just been a part of another organization where we tried to buy the US Constitution, and in 1 week, we raised $47 million, which was insane. I would not have expected that, but it resonated with a lot of people. I think at the time, people were looking for ways to connect, and when we were all locked inside of our homes, we connected through the internet. And this was a big moment of realization that the tools have gotten to the point where we can do these things at a very accelerated pace. And so me and a group of other people through the internet that I'd met through the internet, we said, okay, well, can we try to apply this to space? And we started out with just basically an address on the blockchain. We said, we want to try to send someone to space. And we were decentralized from day one. We launched a governance token, and the response was actually pretty unexpected. We raised over 2,600 ETH. So at the time, that was a little over $8 million. So, this was shocking. And to me, even, we opened it up for one lunar cycle, and we said, hey, we want to try to send people to space. And we had people from all over the world, over 2,000 individuals that contributed. And then shortly thereafter, we actually didn't even know where we would get the tickets from. We made contact with someone at Blue Origin, and we said, hey, we have raised this money, and we want to send someone to space. Can we make it happen? And we were able to buy not one seat, but 2 seats on a New Shepard rocket. And then, because we were a DAO, so we were decentralized, we had the tickets, and we had to go, okay, what does the community want to do with these tickets? And so we asked the community, we put up for votes. What they decided is they wanted to give 1 ticket to a big influential individual that can talk about the organization at scale. And so we actually went out and we said, okay, great, we'll try to make it happen. And within 8 months, well, so I guess timeline, right? So we started the organization in December 2021. Within 1 month, we raised $8 million. Then we voted on what we were going to do with those tickets. And then a month later, we started reaching out to people and told them, hey, we want to try to send you to space. Would you want to participate in this vote? And we had people from Tim Dodd all the way to Kobe Cotton from Dude Perfect. And we said, okay, you guys have to release your candidacy and get the vote of the organization to be the ones that end up going to space. And Kobe won, and Dude Perfect, they made an amazing video, which I really recommend you guys check out. even if you don't like, so they do trick shots, and you might scoff at that, but they have a extremely large audience of young people from all over the world. So when that video came out, which now has over 40 million views, we had thousands of kids pouring in, like young people that were just going, they were saying things like, oh, I didn't know this was possible. I want to be an astronaut now. I want to go into aerospace engineering. I want to become, I want to work on these missions. And I remember that day when we saw the response, I literally cried. So many people pouring in from all over the world that were inspired by this one video. With our second astronaut, you heard from earlier today. So this was actually an on-chain raffle. So we did a sweepstakes. People from all over the world could enter, and we actually ran it twice. And so there's a little missing link in between Kobe and Iman, where the winner of the first sweepstakes that we did, the first drawing, actually happened to be from China. And this was pretty unexpected. It would have been the first person from China to participate in any US space program. And in a period in history where, it's relatively adversarial between the United States and China, we decided, okay, we'll try to take this on. And then for a year, we tried to get the individual from China, his name's Yan Kejun, into the United States. On 4 separate attempts, we were denied a visa. He wasn't even able to get into the country to even train, let alone go on the rocket. So we tried and tried and tried, and then eventually, it just was not possible. So we redrew, and this was another opportunity. And fate would have it that we had Iman, and Iman is an amazing human being. I mean, you heard from him earlier. The organization is lucky to have him. He wasn't the lucky one, we were the lucky one. He's just an incredible human being and speaker, and has been, you've already heard from him, so I don't think we need to, I don't need to laud him too much. But from there, we don't just send individuals to space. So this was our first mission. We tried to send 2 people or 1 person to space. The organization is decentralized. What that means is we vote on everything that happens with the funds that we collected. So in exchange for being part of the organization, you now have control over those funds. And we have people from all over the world that put in proposals into our treasury. We've had almost 160 proposals that have come through. And of those 160 proposals, 66 of them have been funded. And what we do with each of those projects is we set them up with crypto tools. So you actually get to collaborate using the infrastructure of the internet, of Ethereum in particular. And we've grown now to almost 12,000 token holders. So we've done a lot since then, and I've put some of these MoonDAO projects in here. I mean, there's over 60 projects, but here's just a few of them. We decided we were going to fund a zero-gravity flight, so you can see us all sitting down there. We sold some of the tickets, we raffled some of them, we voted on some of them too. We had Charlie Dukes there, Nicole Stott, Doug Hurley, and it was amazing. So we were able to get a bunch of people to kind of jump on a mission together. Not to space, but to zero gravity. So, we're able to do many different kinds of exploration missions. But exploration isn't the only thing we do. We also do research. So, on that side, on the left side, my left, your right, we've got, this was actually a contributor, Phil, who is working on a timing protocol to sync atomic clocks so that satellites can work with one another much more effectively in cislunar space. And this research actually got us into a DARPA workshop with Luna 10, and it's fascinating where the organization has taken us, because in that same workshop, where they had SpaceX, Blue Origin, all of these incredible companies, and there was someone who came up at the end and said, wouldn't it be amazing if we could all work together, if we could have a platform where we could do mission simulation collaboratively? And like, could any of us own this platform? Wouldn't it be great if it were somehow on the blockchain or done in a way where no one organization controls the whole platform? So they're already having these conversations, and then we're able to support with some of those initiatives. We also have a marketplace. So the amazing thing about being embedded into this new financial infrastructure is that there really are no middlemen. So in the same way that you have a Craigslist board with like Internet 1.0, now with Internet 3.0, anyone can put whatever they want to sell up on the marketplace. We also have a makerspace. So this is out of in Roatan, off of the coast of Honduras. There's a special economic zone, and we're helping put together a little makerspace with 3D printers and a bunch of other tools so that people can make their ideas a reality. And people from all over the world can send in designs, and we'll want to create a bit of a decentralized design system that can manufacture in one location. So going back, this is a statement that was only really possible to construct in retrospect because the organization is decentralized. So really, it's through asking the community and token holders that we figure out who we are. And so this picture has really emerged of what MoonDAO is as an internet native institution. So this is, rather than the institution being based within any one nation, it is a network institution, and it has different properties than other institutions. And we think that we are the first of many to come that will be network-based institutions. And in particular, what we want to do is accelerate a sustained human presence on the moon. Our mission, which we developed through the community, in particular, so it's to accelerate the development of a self-sustaining and self-governing settlement on the moon to act as a launch point for humanity to explore the cosmos. So the moon isn't the end goal, it is the launch point to go everywhere else. And when we started, we had a little master plan. And that master plan, it started with, let's set up a foundation so that we can coordinate on the internet a bunch of people. We did that. Next, let's do our first goal, which is try to send someone to space, and we did that. And now, the next thing on the roadmap, when we started, was to become a major funder of research and exploration. And since then, we've kind of subdivided it a little bit. So there needs to be two things that are true for that to be possible. One, we need to be able to attract the best and brightest builders and organizations within this ecosystem so that we can provide them funding. So they need to understand the tools that we're built on top of and be able to use a DAO. So there's a communication hurdle, right? We want to onboard the existing space community. And then B, and this I think is going to be, this is the most important thing that we're working on right now, is to pioneer novel funding mechanisms. We want to be the most effective capital allocator in the entire world for accelerating progress in space. And we believe that the tools that we have will provide new capabilities that have not been seen yet. And we'll get into what those are in a little bit. So fourth, develop the lunar settlements. You already saw that as a mission. And then fifth, we want to party. This is, it's a little controversial, but we think I think it's great that we start out with this initial document about the organization where the end goal was to have this party. And so we want things to be fun. We don't want life to be just about, what are we going to do in space when we're there? Well, we're going to thrive. We're going to have fun. We're going to, have a party. And we want to have this party on New Year's Eve 2030. So we don't have that much time. We want to accelerate pretty fast. And you're invited, so if you guys want to join, I'll tell you how you can get involved. So we believe that the 21st century will be the century of the network. And so this shift, I think, is happening all around us, and we're just starting to see the effects of it. What does it mean to have credibly neutral technology that anyone can access all over the world, financial rails that don't depend on any one nation, but that allow people from all over the world to collaborate with one another? And there's, good aspects to that. There are bad aspects to that. People have seen the FTX collapses. We're still learning how to use all of this technology, but we think it's going to continue to grow, and then at some point eclipse all national spending towards space. And we think that that could happen within the next decade. So space companies that figure this out, that can leverage the network, will stand at a large competitive advantage because they can not only raise funds through traditional means, through government contracts, but they can also access the network. And we want to help bring you all into the network. So this is our portal. So we've developed two things, and this isn't MoonDAO, by the way. So we're calling this the Space Acceleration Network. It's not MoonDAO, and this is important. So by joining this, you're not necessarily signing up to this is the MoonDAO thing. No, we want to bring all the organizations onto this ecosystem. So this is, and it's not owned by anyone. It is just a tool set. So these are tools that allow organizations to access funding, so they can do the same thing that MoonDAO did and raise funds on chain. We provide the same capabilities, sales, so through the marketplace that I alluded to earlier, and then hiring. So we want to have not just citizens that can get hired by the organizations that are on chain, but then vice versa. We want organizations to be able to hire culturally aligned talent. So people that do want to accelerate progress in space and that have all kinds of different skills that we can leverage within all of these different organizations. So think of it like you could do gigs, you could do bounties, you can get part-time work, full-time work. You can contribute to open source repositories. So all of these organizations will have different asks and ways that you can get involved. And we've already onboarded some incredible companies that we are just over the moon to be working with. Intuitive Machines, which landed on the moon just this year, Space for Humanity, who's here, the Mars Society, Earthlight, of course, and the Open Lunar Foundation, which is policy. And you'll see that MoonDAO is just one other organization within this network. So we're also using these same tools. And we just want to provide them as widely as possible so that as many people can get involved with this, because we grow with the network. It's a growing pie. So we really want to get as many people as possible to help grow this pie with us. And so the funds that go into this ecosystem are accessible just in the same way that anyone can make a proposal to our treasury. People that join this network, can put in proposals to get funding. So they can Crowdraise, but they can also access the funds that we have on chain. And everyone is being treated equally. Anyone can put in a proposal, and if the community wants to vote and allocate funds towards it, they can. And we also have an incredible cast of individuals almost now. We just launched this 2 weeks ago. And we've got 50 people from all over the world that have joined. You can get your little AI avatar, which is really fun to design. I love the AI music to start out the day today. That was incredible. So we've got a little touch of AI in here too. But you can create your profile, and we'd love to see you in this network as well. So this is what it looks like for an organization that is joining the network. So we have 3 actions right now. So you can access funding, you can hire, so you can put up job postings, and you can sell. So if you have anything that you're selling, you can sell it on our marketplace, and it's direct. There's no fees. You can just immediately and directly post it to the world, and anyone can send you crypto to buy whatever you want. You can manage your organization on chain. We put a lot of love and effort into trying to make this as smooth as possible, comprehensible to people, and we do the same for individuals. So individuals can create projects, they can access that same hiring board, and then also, and this is pretty interesting, you can get rewarded for any contribution that you make towards accelerating progress towards a lunar base. And that can take whatever form that you think works. Basically, you put that contribution up, and then anyone in the community can reward you for that contribution. So you can start to make a little bit of money through working with us collaboratively. And then you can also see your governance power. And we don't want this to just be MoonDAO governance. We want this to be all of the other organizations that are working within this network that you'll see side by side, and you can govern multiple organizations or be part of multiple different initiatives. So the citizen profile really connects to anything else. And so going back to the master plan here, so I really want to zoom in on number 3. So we've talked about the onboarding companies and builders. And now I want to go into this pioneering of novel funding mechanisms, because I think this is going to be the key enabler, the key unlock that will really take this idea to the next level. So I only have 2 slides on this, but this is essentially, this is like if we're zooming in on the master plan, here's a little bit more detail, right? So we want to help fund a grand challenge competition. And what we're aiming to do is collaborative competition. So we want many companies that have different offerings. So maybe they're selling something, maybe they're buying something on the lunar surface, maybe they're providing power, communications, whatever it may be, but that they can upload their mission profile, their technologies, onto a system where they have to collaborate with the other organizations. So they have to, but not only that, but they have to compete with the other organizations that are offering that same technology. So it's this tension between collaboration and competition. So they'll be forced to figure out how to interoperate with one another, how to develop standards and accelerate a lunar base. And then we'll go from simulation to then Earth testing to the winners actually going to the moon. And we'd like to eventually purchase a Starship. So I'll just throw this up real quick. I'm not going to go through it all, but these are some of the early sketches that we have and how we're going to be structuring some of these models. So they look like prize models on chain. This is a bit complex. If you have questions about this or are interested in this stuff, come and find me. And if you'd like to join the party, go to moondao.com, and if you come find us at our booth, we have a 50% off for any organization or individual that wants to join this network. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Pablo. That is a very innovative way to look at the future and how we get to that better future for humanity. So, thank you.